Welcome to Playoff Central Live, presented by State Farm. That's half man, half amazing, the Hall of Famer Vince Carter. That's the three-time champion, Udonis Haslem. I'm Chris Miles, and the top seed in the East looking like it here in the third game of the second round. It's their first win of this series. The Cleveland Cavaliers, a wire-to-wire win. They started off this game up 11-0. And Vince, we're going to get right into it because we need someone like you to explain what we witnessed from Donovan Mitchell. Back-to-back 40-point games, 43 to be exact in this one. But you got some clips to show us, and there's one where, like, did Vince just step back on the court? Because that's what Donovan was
But he's
like.
been relentless. He's been on attack mode from the beginning. And here it is. If you're going to guard me at half court, yeah, I'm going to call my big up. That gives me more space to get downhill with speed. You put a big in position where well, you know what? I'm just going to hang up there until you come down, and I'm going to throw it off the glass. That's called an athlete with an F. Here's another situation. Y'all got it.
Yeah. Florida guys.
Another situation where he's just, hey, I'm in the zone. I've been shooting lights out. Now I'm going to split the defense, get the ball back, outrun you, get me an easy bucket. It's just been attack mode, zero settling. You see everything was downhill, 14 for 29. Yes, he took 13 threes, but I felt like that was early in the game. Second half, plus including the fourth quarter, let's just say second half, more so the fourth quarter, he was downhill attack mode in your chest, did not think about taking threes. Every time he got the ball off a flare, he got off a pick and roll, it was downhill first, either layups or creating open threes for someone else.
Yeah, the Cleveland Cavaliers on go from the beginning. But here's the thing. Game was tied at 32 at the end of the first quarter, and Kenny Atkinson had to make that chess move. And what he did, he went to his zone, and he held the Pacers to 3 for 11 from the field, just 13 points in that second quarter. Why was it so effective?
I think he was holding that in his pocket. He might have stole that from Boston and Joe Mazzulla last year. I think he held that in his pocket and he pulled it at the right time. But the reason why I love zones is because you have to communicate. Right here, the pass goes to Nembhard. Max Strus stunts at the ball just to make him hesitate a little bit. Guys are just guarding the zone. They're not guarding the man. It's hard for Indiana to figure out. So now they flash a guy. Max Strus communicates, pushes him up. Murrow takes him. Max Strus gets back down to his spot. They're great communication in the zone. He drives to the basket. Max Strus, who was the guy who was at the top of the zone earlier, is the guy who now contests the shot. There's no space in the zone. You can move. There's all these guys are interchangeable in the spots. Now we have Murrow at the top. We have Evan Mobley at the top, who's the biggest, usually at the bottom, and we have Max at the bottom again. Once again, the communication is there. Everybody's communicating. You drive in the lane, you pass the ball, nobody is home. The thing I love about this zone is that it really gets you activated. People think that a zone is a lazy defense, but you have to communicate more in a zone than you have to communicate in the man-to-man. And I think he pulled this out at the right time, and he had his team activated. And if I'm not mistaken, Indiana was 3 for 11 against the zone, and that's when they kind of broke the game open offensively when Cleveland got it going.
Yeah, and there are certainly players we have to highlight for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but the three guys that returned to the lineup, we asked, okay, what are they going to look like? And Evan Mobley, your defensive player of the year, Darius Garland, an all-star, and DeAndre Hunter. So, look, Garland had 3 fouls in the first quarter, 4 fouls in the first half. He seemed a bit out of sorts at times, made some good plays.
But also, that's that excited energy. Glad to be back also.
Yes.
But Evan Mobley, 3 blocks, 3 steals, 18 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, looked like an all-NBA caliber player.
And he held his title.
The Defensive Player of the Year.
I think he was important. Channel him in, you showed it in your Higo. You channel him to your bigs.
Yes.
And one of your bigs is Evan Mobley, his ability to change shots, be in multiple positions. I could show, I can help, but I can still get back. I can contest. When I contest, I can go rebound.
Yes.
And I think for Donovan Mitchell, he's like, the cavalry is back. And yes, Darius Garland didn't have a great game, but his presence, his ability, he had some fantastic passes. He had hit a couple of big shots. He pushed the pace. And Donovan Mitchell did not have to be the facilitator all the time.
Yes. And the thing I love about Evan Mobley is now this is why he's the Defensive Player of the Year, because you brought it up earlier in the game, because their defense have struggled. They have been giving up 52% from the field, 46% from the three.
Right.
You cannot win like that. You get Evan Mobley back in the lineup today, you give up 43% from the field, 30% from three. This is the Cleveland Cavaliers who ranked 5th in defense throughout the season, and this is what we were expecting. And now you bring back the Defensive Player of the Year, and you see how it elevates their team defensively.
And everybody's on the same string, so we know now, hey, I get up on my man, channel it to my big guy.
Come in here if you want to.
Yeah.
Come in here if you want to.
You know, UD, we talked about one of your former teammates and a friend of yours, Max Strus, and what he had to deal with after that late game turnover in Game 2 during that epic comeback for the Indiana Pacers. Nice response for him in this one.
What I said before the game?
You said he was going to have a good.
I said my boy was going to bounce back.
20 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and was active from go.
It's a little different when you undrafted. You got to be a different type of savage to be undrafted and get, shipped around and cut from G League teams and continue to believe in yourself and bet on yourself and double down. I knew what Max Strus is about. This is just a basketball game. Max Strus has been fighting for life just to get in the league and stay in this league. So I knew he would come out and play the game well. He shot the ball well from the perimeter. If you look at who they started on Hallenberg, it was Max Strus. Hallenberg goes out tonight and has 4 points and is minus 20. Max Strus was the guy, the head of the snake, who started that defense.
Picked him up full court,
Picked him up full court, pressured him, turned him, wore on him. And as you say, when you get in that paint, you got to see Mobley and Jared Allen.
2 for 8 from the field for Tyrese Halliburton, 4 points, 5 assists. And this is a guy that we were saying, hey, he's so incredible in how he has to change the pace of what he does for the team. We were saying, hey, everyone, he was voted as the most overrated and looked like certainly not that. This is the kind of game where you got to give Cleveland credit for how they held him back.
One thing I would say, he's an energy and effort guy. And at the same time, he's unselfish. And when he feels that energy and the effort and things are going well and he gets going, he facilitates, he opens up a lot of things. But what they did is defensively, like you said, picked him up full court. And when you're on offense and he's in front of you, they were attacking him. They were making him guard. They were putting him in multiple possessions or situations where he had to be a help guy or he had to guard the second action, and it was penetrate, get to the layup, or create an open three. So they really brought the fight to him and made him guard, which I think got into him and kind of took him out of the game.
And they limited him offensively because what he is a great offensive player. When he is able to start off with the pass and get other guys involved, now he is able to take advantage of that one-on-one matchup because he's got other guys involved. Andrew Nembhard is a guy who's averaged 19 in this series. We're talking about Naismith is a guy who's averaged 20 in this series. Neither one of those guys were effective tonight, so they eliminated those triggers and those guys, and now you put it all on Halliburton's hands, but he is not able to get in the paint and get those other guys involved, and that's so much of who he is.
And
yes, he can score. They were very physical with him. So they took away the option to get other guys involved.
There's a word you just used, and you said physical with him. I look at the Cleveland Cavaliers' advantage, plus 19 in rebounding, right? And 31 second chance points, 18 offensive rebounds. UD, that's the physicality you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's the size that they have, when they start too big. Yes, Pascal Siakam is great down there. He can score. He is a guy who can get to all 3 levels. He has an advantage offensively. But when you get him out on the defensive end, you got to beat the hell out of him down there when you got Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Rebounds, rings, extra possessions in a tight game, those things matter. Those things can be the difference. We've seen that throughout the playoffs. Teams that get extra possessions, teams that fight the hardest, teams that want it more are the teams that usually come out with the win. So now Indiana looked like they wanted those first 2 games in Cleveland more. This was a clear factor that Cleveland needed this game. They wanted it more.
How about the fact that both of those bigs had double-doubles? 18 and 13 for Evan Mobley, 19 and 12 for Jared Allen.
You don't see that no more.
All
2 big,
smiles
double
for you
down.
on that
You don't
one.
see that no more.
And 5
like
blocks.
Yeah, I mean, just the inside presence. If you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, any of their detractors, they'll be like, oh, that's where they seem to have issues, not tonight.
Not tonight. And they work well together. They've worked well all season together. And that is kind of the complement and the piece to the puzzle that works is Evan Mobley. And Mobley working well with their guards and Mobley working well with Allen. And one sets them up for the other. So if I can't block it, you block it. When you go block it, I'll go get the rebound and so on and so forth.
I mean, it's such a luxury to have a big that can do those things like Evan Mobley, has that mobility. Like, I know that because we have Bam, a guy you can put at the top of the zone.
Well, you say Bam. How about another one of your former teammates joining the show now?
There you go.
Max Strus.
There you go, Yes, sir.
Max, we were talking about the end of Game 2 and what you must have gone through as a competitor to bounce back like this in this one. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Can you take us through the past couple of days for you and how excruciating that loss must have been and how rejuvenating this win is?
Nah, I mean, it's a big win, but it's just one. We can't get too high, can't get too low. I mean, that's the name of the playoffs. But just trying to tell the guys to stay in the saddle. That's a UD quote. Keep pushing, keep doing what we do, what we've been doing all year, and I'm proud of the way our guys fought tonight, and we stayed positive these past couple of days. There was no reason to dwell on it. We knew that was a bad loss the other night, but we knew we were going to have to come out here and fight, and proud of our effort tonight.
Hey, Max, man, I want to tell you that I'm proud of you firsthand, and you know that we talk all the time, but I want to ask you about the connection that you guys have off the basketball court, because we all know how that helps you be a great team on the court. And we've done that in Miami, and you understand how important that is. So just talk about how you guys just enjoy spending time together. You guys get to know each other's families, how you guys really build that bond and that connection. So when you step out on the court, you're playing with your brother and not just a teammate.
Absolutely. That stuff is huge, man. We live that. It's honestly a great.
Chào cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn mọi người làm vòng với cái đề là hoa cúc.
Đây có 2 hộp kem. Hộp kem là tiền, hộp kem nó mềm mềm hơn. Nhưng mà trời nắng quá vậy anh. Sắp xỉ thời gian. Có ai nhờ anh hỏi.
Ngày trước em vẫn về bìa, bố em đi ăn cỗ về, bố em bảo đấy Pháp với trả Luân với Công, con Lan Anh nó bỏ về nhà rồi kia kìa. Thế là đấy em không biết là ai đâu, chỉ bảo anh Kiên thì em biết thôi, chứ không biết chị Lan Anh đâu. Này thì không thèm vợ với con, thế xem có thèm không, xem có phải đi xin không. Thế đây giờ vẫn